Happening today, there's going to be a full-scale exercise with all first responders, as well as the U.S. Navy and Army.
Yeah, this exercise is going to use Kolekole Pass as a potential evacuation route during an emergency. Casey Lunn is live there this morning with what we can expect. Casey.
Yeah, aloha guys. We are going to be tagging along with the folks from Army Garrison Hawaii. We just heard from Commander Rachel Sullivan. She's in charge of the whole Army Garrison Hawaii here. She's teaming up with our local first responders, HPD, as well as Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, the Navy partners, really to see what it's going to be like if this access route, Kolekole Pass, needs to be used in an emergency evacuation, some kind of a situation like that. We want to talk about the reason behind that, and that is the people that live out here on the west side that would be stuck if the main road got shut down. I want to introduce Tiana Wilbur with us this morning, Makaha resident. Thank you so much for being with us. This is a long time coming, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us a little bit about the need for this, and the community has been advocating for this for some time, and why is that?
So knowing that we are one way in, one way out coast, we have heavy concerns for decades on how do we get out in case of a natural disaster or, heaven forbid, something like Maui happens. There's no access out of our coast if the road is shut. And so we experience this almost on a daily basis when there's accidents or severe accidents or situations that happen on our highway. Then our road is completely closed, we can't get home, or it's hours before we're even able to get home.
And so that's an example of an inconvenience, but the real concern is a life or death situation like you mentioned. I want to ask you, Tiana, as somebody who's lived out here your whole life, I assume, or most of you, yes. Have you taken this route? Have you been up Kolekole Pass before? What are the conditions like, and is it safe?
So gratefully, serving on the neighborhood board, I was able to do a tour on this path, and it was eye-opening because the road, I wouldn't say is the best access. At that time, there still is two landslides that the Navy is still monitoring currently, because at any moment it could potentially collapse and be a hazard as well, either damaging the road or also in the case that we had emergency access, it could happen right at that moment, and then we have another emergency. Yeah. The other concern would be that it bottlenecks at one point. So they had to rebuild the bridge that used to be there, and it no longer can fit two vehicles.
Yeah.
So it'll have to be a one-way or somebody up there to navigate through.
Yeah.
The two-way traffic. So that was seeing all of that take place. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't maybe the best time or option for us to get off the coast, so how else, And so that's when discussion started more intensely with community and the military and the Navy, and how can we, resolve this or figure out a way for us to utilize this access.
So this is a very good, I know that it's been something that's been in the works for years, but we're actually seeing some movement, and I imagine that's a little bit of a relief, correct?
Yes, it's honestly exciting.
Yeah.
To see city, state, and federal come together in this capacity and
include folks in the community like yourself,
yes,
that have been advocating for this, that have been a voice of the folks out here in Makaha, in Waianae, and Nanakuli. Thank you so much, Tiana, for being with us. We're going to go up with those first responders, the military partners as well, take a look for ourselves. So we'll have more information for you throughout the day on later newscasts here on Hawaii News Now. We'll send things back to Stephen Grace for now. Guys?
Thank you, Casey.